as a species that tends to be wired for innate dissatisfaction. As soon as we achieve something, within minutes or seconds, we're looking towards the next milestone. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I do think that if it's coming from a place of deep unworthiness, it can be a formula for chronic unhappiness and distrust of ourselves. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of ShiShi Meditations. And today I'm coming to you live from Washington Square Park, which was named after our first president, George Washington. Actually, I don't know if it was named after him, but it's named after someone named Washington. And the topic of today's video is a quote that I kind of heard on one of my favorite podcasts from this guy, Aubrey Marcus, who you guys have heard me speak about before, that I just absolutely love and have been trying to adopt into my life, and something that I personally honestly struggle with a lot. So maybe you guys can relate. And the quote is, "The tide will come for all your sandcastles." And basically what he means by that is, as human beings, a lot of us who are ambitious and into improving ourselves and optimizing our career and our lifestyle and our relationships and our health and our wealth, we can tend to really get fixated on optimizing everything and achievement, basically, like success, and measuring our self-worth by how successful we are in these different areas and these different metrics. And I think at this point it's a pretty common thing to hear that a lot of people now say that money isn't going to bring you happiness, and it's almost in vogue almost to say that like money is going to bring you happiness, and there is a lot of truth to that. But I think the same mindset that people apply towards money, this kind of like expectation-driven, outcome-oriented dependence on once I achieve a certain amount of financial security or success, then I'll be able to just relax and be happy with who I am, can be applied to pretty much everything in life. And I've noticed with myself, somebody who never, who grew up fortunate and also never really had that mindset towards money, I have applied that same, basically delaying my happiness until I get an outcome kind of mindset to areas such as my health, my relationships, my spiritual practice and development, and even just like my mood. Like if I don't feel like super on and happy and social all the time, I find myself beating myself up on myself and not allowing myself to just relax and be happy in my unhappiness, so to speak. And what I love about this quote, "The tide will come for all your sandcastles," is that basically what it's saying is no matter how much you achieve or how big or fancy the sandcastle is that you build, ultimately it's still just made out of sand, and the tide is still going to come sweep it away. And I was thinking a lot about this quote, and I decided to kind of add a second amendment to it, which is that because the tide will come for all your sandcastles, more important than building the biggest and best sandcastle is learning to enjoy the sand in as many moments as possible. Just learning to enjoy the process of playing in the sand. And can you continually show up after getting your sandcastles wrecked by the waves? Can you continually show up and continue to find joy in the building process? And for me, that's something that I've struggled with my whole life. And I really feel like in many ways, that's the ultimate yoga, if you will, of life. That's the ultimate spiritual practice in terms of how to continually find fulfillment as a species that tends to be wired for innate dissatisfaction. As soon as we achieve something, within minutes or seconds, we're looking towards the next milestone. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I do think that if it's coming from a place of deep unworthiness, it can be a formula for chronic unhappiness and distrust of ourselves. So what I would propose to all of you watching this video, and what I try to practice myself, is an ability to go about our day and go about our activities with a level of passion and a level of engagement. So we're not just retiring from the world and just saying, oh, well, nothing matters, so then what's the point of doing anything? Rather, it's that because nothing is permanent, things matter that much more. Because of their impermanence, they inherently have more value. So let's enjoy the process. So cliche, but let's enjoy the process rather than the outcome. So again, not necessarily like a new topic or anything revolutionary, but I often find that these quotes or these metaphors and the use of language in these ways tends to help me wrap my brain around universal topics in new ways. And I really love this tide sandcastle analogy. And I'm going to try to apply that just into my day-to-day living, knowing that the very fact that I'm trying is enough. Like the very fact that I'm waking up and showing up is enough. And so I urge you guys to do the same. And with that, ShiShi signing out. Peace.